Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll be breaking down the news and stories regarding the Bed Bath & Beyond company and the CFO, Gustavo Arnal, who wept to his death last week and now is being implicated along with another person in a pump and dump scheme in regards to the shareholder price for its company and the rise and fall of its price. And I'll try to explain everything in reference to the pump and dump scheme with some graphs, and so you can have some further explanation towards that. My name is Brian Barsoon, upload YouTube content daily. Subscribe if you enjoyed the content and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when my videos go live. But just jumping into the story here from the Daily Mail. Revealed the Bed Bath & Beyond CFO, who up to his death from New York's famed Jenga building, is accused of role in pump and dump scheme that artificially inflated value of flailing company and cost its shareholders over $1 billion. So he was 52 years old, and he leapt off the 18th floor of the Jenga building, it's called, in New York City. So the lawsuit was filed back on the 23rd. And then a few days later is when he leapt and took his own life. So I'll try to explain what the pump and dump scheme is. It does a pretty good job of explaining it in this article, and I'll pull up another article as well and show you a graph of a chart so you can see the monetary prices of, with a timeline breaking everything down so you could see where the money was made and where the money was lost. But just getting into the story first here. So this took place on Friday. At the time of this recording, it's September 6th. So this was last week. So it was at the beginning of September. He leapt to his death on that Friday and was being sued for artificially inflating the company's stock price in a pump and dump scheme to sell off his shares at a higher price. DailyMail.com can reveal. So a lot of people are alleging, which, you can draw your own conclusions. That's why he took his own life, is that he was being implicated in this scheme with another person, which I'll get into in just a moment here. So it was filed in the district court for the District of Columbia on August 23rd. And claims Cohen, who's the other gentleman, had approached Arnal about a plan to control shares of Bed Bath & Beyond so that they could both profit. As part of the plan, the lawsuit claims Arnal agreed to regulate all insider sales of Bed Bath & Beyond's officers and directors to ensure that the market would not be inundated with a large number of shares at a given time. So he then allegedly issued material misleading statements made to investors regarding Bed Bath & Beyond's strategic company plans, financial condition, and reports of shares holding and selling to help increase share prices. By the time Arnal sold over 42,000 shares in the company 2 weeks ago, it was valued at $1 million. And I'll show you the graph explaining all the timeline of this. I believe it was around August 16th when he sold his shares, and that was around when the peak of the price was. And if you're not familiar, Bed Bath & Beyond is similar to GameStop. It's been referred to as quote unquote a meme stock, where people just put money into it and then it has a lot of fluctuation, goes up and down. So I'm sure if you're a financial analyst, you probably understand this more than I do. But there's a lot of them going around with the stock market being increasing and increasing over the last 2 years. There have been more of these quote unquote meme stocks that have taken hold, and a lot of people have made money off of them, but a lot of people have lost money. In this case, a lot of people lost over $1 billion total for the shareholders. And what he was doing is he was pretty much lying about the health of the company, saying that it was doing better than it was, and that caused people to purchase the stock and thus increase the stock price. And then once it was inflated high enough to their liking, that's when they sold all of their shares and then made a profit off it. Now this guy, Gustavo Arnal, the CFO, made about $1 million. There's another gentleman I'm going to get to in a second, Cohen, that made significantly more than that. He's the one that's going to kind of left with the bag now, so to speak. So let's take a look here. Yeah, lawsuit was then filed just 1 week before Arnal took his own life by jumping off the 18th floor. That's the gentleman there. And some other pictures. So it was a class action suit, and it had on behalf of all those who purchased Bed Bath & Beyond stocks between March 25th and August 18th. So it wasn't just within the last week or so, but spanning over the last several months here of this year. It has gone up and down a lot, but I'll be in the graph I'll show a little bit later on. I'll just highlight the last couple of weeks so you can see the prices for that. So through mid-August 2022, Bed Bath & Beyond appeared from the company's public statements and financial reporting to be a successful turning around company, it alleges. So, it had been in some financial struggles, but with this news and, inflating and, overstating or lying, if you would have, the company's lifeblood or how it's been doing, cause people to buy into it. Obviously, if the company's doing well, as an investor, you're going to want to invest in that. If the company's not doing well, you're going to probably want to sell your shares unless you really believe in the company. So just moving on to this other article, just to talk about the other gentleman now. This is from the Post Millennial. So it's a billionaire investor. His name is Ryan Cohen. He made $68 million as Bed Bath & Beyond crumbled. So he obviously had a lot more money invested in this than the CFO Arnold did. So obviously now he's going to be the one left on the hook. That's the gentleman right there in question. So just taking a look here, it's kind of breaking down the story as well. So if we could just come down here. So that's referencing what I was talking about before. On August 16th, Arnold made a little over $1 million from selling his over $42,000 shares in company stock. Now, let me see if I can pull up the numbers here. So on August 16th, the same day Arnold sold his shares, Cohen filed with the SEC, stating he owned a total of 9,450,100 shares. So almost 9.5 million shares, including the new 1.6 million under certain call options. The idea was that it would create a frenzy of demand for the market to purchase the stock, what I mentioned before. So this guy had a lot of shares, and it does mention in the article here, stock prices rose 75% that same day. And Cohen signed forms saying he was going to sell all his shares and call options, banking a huge profit. So he was going to sell all 9 million shares, and that's where the huge profit came from. So he earned $68 million on the stock, generating a 56% gain on his original investment. And it does break down this, which I'm going to show in a second here. This is the graph of the stock. So this is for 1 month. So I could go back to 6 months here so you can see it. Obviously it went up and down, but mainly on the last month is the part I want to focus on here. So you go back, this is, almost a month ago now, August 8th. It closed at $11.41 for the price per share. So now around this time, it's kind of hovering around $10, $11. And now you get to like August 12th. And now it starts going up, still moderate gains. Now, this is around the time I mentioned, remember August 16th is when they both sold their shares. So at this point, it's being reported. They're doing saying everything's good with the company. Now it's growing. All the investors think the company's on the up and up. They want to get in while the getting is good. So now if we fast forward here, now the 15th, it's at, closed at $16. And by, August 16th, it closed at $20. And it even went a little bit higher the next day, even as high as $23 it closed at. But this is when they sold their shares here on the 16th. So they probably sold it around $20. So at the time, they probably bought in when it was around $9 or $10, and boom, they doubled their profits just like that in a few days. So by lying to the people and having those alleged reports, stating that the company was good, caused people to obviously flood the market, and that's exactly what they wanted. So they bought the stock, and then obviously once it was up, sold it all and generated a huge profit. And now, as you can see here, in subsequent days, it starts to go way back down. It only took three or 4 days. Next thing you know, about a week later, after they sold, it closed at $8.78. So people, bought it and then they sold it. The facts came out after the fact of, that the company wasn't in good standing. And around this time, the August 23rd is when there was a class action suit filed. So you could see they probably knew that this was coming and everyone sold. And by then it was down to $8.78 at close. So just in blink of an eye. Obviously, that's the stock market. You take your chances with that kind of stuff. But obviously, when everything is legally done, and people, the members of the company aren't lying to you. So just wanted to highlight that so you can see in the chart. And now currently, as of today, closed at even lower amount, $7.04. Now they did name an interim CFO at the time, at the time of this recording, for a Bed Bath & Beyond, but so obviously the company's in a state of flux at this time, and I believe they're closing around 150 stores due to the actual reporting now, the actual facts that the company is not doing well. So now it's down to 7. Was at 23, not even 2 weeks ago. Now it's down to $7. So significant drop off. Obviously, you're in this class action lawsuit. I'm sure the company will have to repay some of that, even though not all members were aware of this. He was working for the company at the time, so I'm sure there'll be some fines levied, and these people will probably do well in this class action lawsuit. So if you were affected by that, I wasn't myself, but just try to look it up online. I'm sure you can get involved with that, and I'm sure you'll be notified as well about the suit. So just wanted to highlight that as well. So that's going to do it for this video. I just wanted to make a quick video, explaining this whole situation with the Bed Bath & Beyond CFO and what led to his untimely death, and the implications of that. Comment down below if you are holding stock with Bed Bath & Beyond. Would be curious to hear from you guys, or if you're just interested in the story. Like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed my content. Hit that notification bell if you'd like to be notified when my videos go live. And thanks for watching, and take care.